Yo, right. Gonna make one more updated video regarding Ethereum. So again, let's just run through everything again. If you watch my past three videos, you know that I've been quite excited about Ethereum. I think it's gonna go up really high. But right now, we might. There are signs, as I pointed out right here. There are signs that this could be the beginning of a short-term pullback. You have 4 hourly bearish divergence. We swept the high. We're back below. The issue with the regular bearish divergence is that you can just get a bounce off of hidden bullish divergence. So you could just make multiple drives of bullish divergence. I think either the pullback comes right here, which is what we're in right now, and the pullback should be 10 to 20%, or it comes after we sweep these highs right here. And the highs that I'm referring to is this, and it would basically look something like this. Okay? So if the liquidity deviates back below is a sign of a likely pullback, kind of doing that right now. Above 2850 is where the real stop loss are. The only thing that can ruin ETH is if the stock market Omega pranks ETH to the rug. So I want to be clear. I have a bearish view on the stock market, and I think the stock market is in the lower high phase, similar to May 2008, or late 1973, or early 2001. And that's why Ethereum has very limited time to do this. So let me be very clear. If Ethereum starts to consolidate and it starts to make equal lows and shit, well then it doesn't matter, right? I might say that this is likely right now that it's going to go above 2850, 3450, and maybe 4100. And as I said here, in my view, there's a 90% chance we go above 2850, 80% chance that we go above 3450, and a 60% chance we go above 4100. The higher, the less likely, regardless of structure because it gets heavier, but going above all of these equalize at 2850, 3450, and 4100 makes logical sense. If you pull back from here, it likely bottoms at around 2100 to 2150, and in my view, this would be a higher low. I will only change my mind if structure beneath starts to make equal lows. Basically, if we have what we have up here, if we get that beneath, then I will pivot my view. Okay? I'm only trading structure. I don't, let me be clear. I said this 2 videos ago. I am a trader. I don't buy and hold Ponzi schemes for the moon. You can do that, but that's not what I do. I take good risk to reward trades. If I am wrong, I eat a stop loss. I don't get hurt. Okay? So if I'm wrong, I eat my stop loss and then I'm no longer wrong. Right? The one thing you're not going to hear me talking about is shorting Ethereum on the way up here. Why? Because there's too bad structure here. As in, it's bullish structure left behind. Equalized here at 2850, 3450, and 4100. What I'm referring to is this. This is equal highs, equal highs, equal highs. Okay? That's bullish. Yeah? And I explained how this could happen way before, right? You can see all of these reasons here, yeah? It's even a possibility from a liquidity standpoint. Sweep 2.1k to let's say 1.8k, 4.1k after. The incentive to go higher after sweeping the 400 days of stop loss below here is crazy. Everyone will short Ethereum because they're clueless. You don't hear me talking about shorting Ethereum. Then fuck the bears and get ETH to a new all-time high. This is the most bullish scenario. The move below 2.1k will be manipulation. This is what's playing out right now. XRP did this just a few months ago at below 40 cents. Now it's $3. Thinking it does the same unless this is the reason I thought here. It has to reclaim and do a lot of work after the sweep. Maybe we're going to get a reclaim now, right? Which would mean a pullback to, let's say, 2100 to 2150. That could happen. I think that would be bullish. I'm expecting a higher low. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a 10 to 20% pullback. That doesn't change anything. Okay? ETH should get strength back after it sweeps the equal lows at 2.1k. That's what's making it weak in my opinion. Nobody with a brain will buy it before those equal lows are swept during a manipulation move. And I even pointed out, do you remember I pointed out ETH BTC in this thread? Again, you want to scroll through this thread, you can feel free to do that. Thinking this is bullish, also assuming this trend will change. Based off of what? Right? Or was it up here? I don't know what Twitter does. Yeah, it's here. I just don't see people getting rewarded for buying ETH after plus 35% bounce after 5 equal lows with 430 stop losses. That's Eric Trump tweet. This is not how markets work, guys. Go figure. We'll look back and see who the clown is. Alright? Really think about it. If Eric Trump was giving my blah blah, I had a conspiracy here and it turned out to be true. If you want to read through this, you can just pause the video. Right? And you can see this and my thought process here. I'm not going to read every single thing. So stage is set with 2100 equal lows in made. The daily candle will get around bullish, and it's just a bait, right? Okay, this will age well. I wrote here. Everything aged well here in this whole thread. I don't think anything in this whole thread. ETH has to meet its fate below 2100 back in February. Turned out to be true. Everything here turned out to be true. You know what's going to happen? I'm pretty sure about given what I just saw. They will dump ETH below 2100 equal lows, and then the Trump fund will come out with some bullish ETH news. And that might actually be the bottom on ETH BTC. Then we take it to 4.1k equalize. So first sweep 2.1k, and then go above 4.1k, right? It will go sub 2100. If it's really bullish after it stops at 1800. If it's really bad like in 2022, it could fall 50% below the 2100 equal lows, down to the bear market lows of 1k. Anyways, let's continue. So at some point here, I talk about ETH BTC again. Not sure where it was. I'm very open-minded to a bottom in ETH at any point now, right? And then I spoke about all of this for my Moonboys daily, blah 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 blah. Stocks don't crash. ETH looks pretty good. I was saying like you can go way higher because of these equalized left behind. So I'm not talking about this now. I spoke about this like 2-3 months ago. Okay. And again, this was my view initially, right? All right. And as you can see here, they ruined 3 years of market structure in 1 week, expecting 2100 ETH to hold is pure desperation. So I'm just saying right now, this is a sign that this could be the pullback. You could pull back to down here, no problem. Otherwise, maybe you go above these highs, and then you get the pullback of, let's say, 15-20% is my guess. Okay? There is some short-term bad structure on like something like Bitcoin. You know, you have equal lows down here. So maybe Bitcoin goes below here. That's pretty probable. And then Ethereum pulls back because of that. All right? Where did I talk about ETH BTC? One sec. Let me find it. Uh, Again, I was the guy who had a fucking X down here, right, and everything. All I'm saying is I think ETH goes below the 200, 100 equals. It will sweep to 1800 if it's bullish, could get as low as 1k. Wherever we see sideways indicative accumulation, I'll be ETH Omega Bull. ETH BTC probably bottoms to that. No one smart will long this Ponzi here. Okay, here's where I spoke about ETH BTC. I put the X down here. This is the March of 2020 lows, right? Okay, so look at below this. Let's go to ETH BTC. Okay, so this horizontal ray, right, is right here. Yeah, and my X was beneath that, right here. That's where it went to. Right? And then it reversed. I explained the reasoning and everything here. No one smart will long the pawns here. All altcoins will get annihilated in this move. Most people lose everything. That's what happened. I'll explain why. The risk reward here in ETH is terrible. You have to put your stop loss below 2100, and that's awful. Because that's where you want to turn bullish. Any pullback on BTC will kill EPTC so hard. ETH will keep going on EPTC till ETH gets below 2100. Whenever it goes below there, it's different. I've also heard shit like if ETH makes a new low below 2100, it will never bottom, perfect bottom. Meanwhile, I'll turn bullish on ETH below 2100. I- I'm just saying, I think I have gotten ETH correct, way more correct than everyone else. It's pretty much been flawless analysis in this whole thread. You wanna feel free to go through this, start all the way from the beginning, right? Here is the link. You just write this into your browser, right, in a new tab. So, is this the beginning of a pullback? Maybe, right? Could it go down here? Sure, right? And then go up, and then do something like this. Sure. I don't know by what time, okay? Or maybe you just do this right now, and then you get the pullback, and then you're in here, right? Or you do something like this. I don't know about the short term, right? It's a bit too hard to guess on that. But you're not gonna hear me talking about shorting it when you have all of these equal highs left behind right here. I don't want to put my stop loss with everyone else. Okay. And I'm a trader. Okay. So like I understand the little crypto loser with $1,000 to his name that sits and holds Ponzi schemes is gonna think, oh, like let's say it gets up to 30, above 34.50 or 28.50, 34.50. I will have made money. I'm not gonna lose money on that. Let's say it goes okay. So let's say this happens. I even posted this in my thread here. Let's just update this real quick, okay? Just gonna read the things that I've posted today. So this is my new thread. You wanna read through this? Here's the new link, okay? And I wrote here, ETH has very limited time to go up. This is my view of the stock market. You can see the similarities, okay? Look at this. Weekly lower low, weekly lower low. A lower level reference point right here horizontally. Lower left reference point here horizontally. A deviation above here that looks like distribution. Double top, rejection, boom. It looks the same here. No difference. Look at S&P. 2650 points, 2650 points. Distribution, weekly low low. Distribution, weekly low low. Slightly above this into this horizontally. Slightly above this into this horizontally. This actually made a higher high here. So if the S&P goes to a higher high here, it's the same shit. And then you do that, right? But XRP went parabolic while the stock market's going sideways. This is what I'm saying. Okay, Ethereum, it can do this. It has the structure to do it. I just think it has very limited times to do so. Right? Let's continue in the thread. So this is what I'm thinking right now, thinking this for a pullback. Either right now it comes after 2850, gets swept by a few percent, the pullback is likely 10 to 20%. I have extremely high conviction that ETH runs about 2850, fairly confident about 3450, we'll see about 41, but it makes sense to do that too. Sweep the liquidity and to deviate back below is a sign of a likely pullback. That's kind of what we've done right now. Kind of doing that right now. Above 2850 is where the real stop loss are. The only thing that can ruin ETH is if the stock market omega pranks ETH with a rug. As long as stocks go sideways, ETH has limited time to do this. If the stock market goes down 50% now, or 20% from here, the S&P, all of this goes out the window. Okay? This is the problem with altcoins in general. In my view, there's a 9% chance we go above 2850, 80% chance we go above 3450, and a 67% chance we go above 4100. The higher, the less likely the higher the less likely, regardless of structure, because it gets heavier. But going above all of these equalize at 2850, 3450, 4100 makes logical sense. If pullback from here likes the bottoms at around 2100 to 2150, in my view that would be higher low. I'll only change my mind if the structure beneath starts to make equal low. So far, no shit structure beneath on ETH. Okay? I cannot know exactly where the pullback is. Is it this or is it this? And it's probably going to be 10 to 20%. If you go down to 2100, that's not bearish. That's really bullish. Well, it depends on what happens here. Okay? If it comes down and then it starts to like bounce and makes equal, then I have changed my mind. Then it's bearish. Then down. Okay. I'm a trader. I don't buy and hold Ponzi schemes. Okay. It's if X then Y. Yeah. And here's a sign, as I pointed out here. Here's a sign that this could be a beginning of a short-term pullback. 4-hour bearish divergence when we swept the high. We're back below. The issue is if you can play ping pong with regular bearish divergence, leading to hidden bullish divergence. So this lower high on the RSI leads to a lower low on the RSI. Lower high lower high on the RSI, higher high on the price action is a regular bearish divergence. But this lower low on the RSI, higher low on the price action is a hidden bullish divergence that can lead to multiple drives of regular bearish divergence. Okay, and this is the type of structure you'll be looking for. This is a sign that bulls are exhausted. If they start to make equal lows, it's normally a sign of exhaustion from the bulls. Keep in mind, sustained break as a curve. If you take multiple equalize and consolidate, properly pull back. If you run a marathon into the breakout by going straight up, it's more probable that it's a fake out. Why does price reverse at their sweep? It's because it provides the liquidity that they need to get out. So it's not good if you sweep in reverse and have divergences. However, bullish trends like this parabola on ETH are hard to turn around. They're more probable to pull back after multiple drives of 4-hourly bearish divergence. First bearish divergence normally means hidden bullish divergence into a new drive of regular bearish divergence. For the future, I don't think I'm gonna update this all the time as I am right now. Just mainly because this weekend I'm trading the S&P 500 primarily right now. And I've been bullish in S&P 500 recently, from 5200 to 5700. Right now, I think this is where it's gonna top out on. But as long as it goes sideways, Ethereum can go up a lot. It's just because this weekend I don't care much about Ether right now because I trade with way bigger size than S&P 500. You're not gonna hear me talking about shorting Ethereum either with this structure above. I don't want to put my stop loss at everyone else above the equalizer at 2050, 3450, and 4100. With this structure, no matter how overextended it gets, the chart has way too many equal highs on higher time frame. Only place that considered is after 4100 plus. Literally at no other point, unless they make equal lows like crazy later. Now I don't care if there's some news. If Ethereum goes up, there's some news. That's gonna be exit liquidity. They're just on a wrong foot here, okay? The chart doesn't fucking lie, okay? So, uh, again, this has been my view on the S&P 500, and I was arguing with some moron here, so this is why I'm a bit like triggered here. And for all the trolls that try and talk shit to me, link me your equity career. You're bad. Of course you don't get that because you're a moon boy, right? If Ethereum stops right here, yeah, let's say, okay, so it goes from here to here, and then it does that. I don't think this is very unlikely, very, very unlikely that it does that. But if it does that, I don't get wrecked because I'm not buying and holding for the moon and not getting out. I TP, okay? Here should be TP1. TP1 right here that we just swept, okay? TP2, okay? No matter what happens here, I will make money from this point onwards. I literally can't lose, okay? Could Ethereum stop right here? Sure. Could it stop right here? Sure. Could it stop right here? Sure. I don't think it's gonna do this, okay? I think that's unlikely. However, if the structure starts to do this, wait, if it does this, and then it does that, and it starts to bounce here, and does that, then I have to be bearish, right? And then if it continues doing that, and makes equal lows against this, then it's bad again. So as time progresses, we get more information in the chart, right? And so therefore, it's not black and white. Like, if it doesn't go up, like a good example of TP1, look, TP1, right? Off of the sweep. This is where the liquidity gets hit. I get it. Everyone thinks it's a break. Amazing. Right. Perfect. Continue trading like that, please. Okay. These are the different TPs. If it hits any of these, I make money. Amazing. Okay. What about Theta? When Theta did this last year, okay, this is comparable to 2550th, which is what we just swept. Okay. That's this right here. Yeah. This is like 2850th. Yeah. This is like 3450th. Yeah. And then ultimately, this is like 4100th. Okay. So you can see theta hit TP1, TP2, TP3, not TP4. And I gave analysis on this back in November of last year. Okay. So if this hits TP1, TP2, TP3, and not TP4, whatever, I make money. It's not like if it goes up here and then it goes down, like I'm not getting wrecked with the rest of you. Okay. I am a trader. I get in and I get out of positions. It goes up and it goes down, and I adapt to the market conditions. So don't come crying to me. Don't take advice from me. I'm telling you what I'm doing. Okay, I literally fucking know what I'm doing. But clearly, look at the chat blocker. Look at this. Look at my equity curve. How do you think that's possible? Because I manage risk and I'm not a fucking moon boy buying and holding expecting everything to go to the moon, and if it goes down, then I get wrecked. I don't get wrecked. That's not a thing. Look at my pullbacks, okay? My pullbacks are almost non-existent, yeah? Because I manage risk properly. If this shit goes down and goes to fucking zero because it's a Ponzi scheme and it ignores all the structure and all of this turns out to be wrong because again it's a probability, 90% chance that it goes above here, yeah? To TP1. No, let's say TP2 because it already hit TP1, okay? 80% chance it goes up to TP3, okay? And in my view, it's a 60-70% chance it goes up here. But if it doesn't happen, and it's possible, if the stock market crashes, it's not going to happen, okay? It's a probability. You need to think in terms of probabilities. The issue with crypto, this is what I fucking hate this space. It's because all you retards are buying and holding Ponzi schemes, expecting it to go to the moon. You don't fucking trade. You don't manage risk. You just hope it goes up. Amazing, continue doing that. But I'm not the same as you. So if this goes down from here, I don't lose money. I've already made money on it. And I'm going to continue making money. And even if it goes down to 2100, that's amazing. Because I'm going to expect that to be a higher low. I can't lose because I've literally set it up in a place where, in a way where there is no way for me to lose money on this speculative idea. Okay? I can't. Because I manage risk and I'm not a fucking moron. I think in terms of probabilities and not certainties. There is no such thing. Okay? So don't come crying to me, oh, it did this, it didn't do that. It can do whatever the fuck it wants. Okay? It's a probability. Yeah? And if you don't get that, and you want to sit and argue with me, and you want to tell me that I'm this or that, you want to label me as something, then show me your fucking equity curve. You won't. You know why? Because you're fucking bad, and you will never have an equity curve ever that looks like this. It's never gonna happen. You know why? Because you are awful. Thank you. for listening to my rant. Take care, peace.